Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the Alamo City Music Club. The first time ever here at the brand new renovated venue, and none better than to support our Westerner band, one of our favorite bands from the Midwest. I have with me Mr. Levi Benton of the band Miss May I. Levi, how are you doing, sir? Great to see you.
I'm good. It's cold today. We didn't think it was going to be cold. We're like, oh, we're going to Texas. I'm going to be in shorts and T-shirt. It's freezing.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly, man. My guys and I were talking too, like, oh, we're sick of this cold weather, you know. And for us down here, you know, a little bit of ice and everybody starts freaking out. But I'm sure you've been through worse.
Oh yeah, I think when we were in Detroit on this tour, after getting to the venue and when we left the venue, the 6 hours we were there, 12 inches of snow fell. It was like a blizzard, and it was the crazy. We didn't think anyone was going to show the show. Well, actually, a lot of kids, it sold out, but a lot of people didn't show up because they couldn't get to the whole highway was shut down. It was a nightmare.
How scary is that? How scary is that to really think you got to drive through this blizzard with your rig and everything? And does that ever cross your mind?
Oh yeah, but especially when it slides, especially if you're on a bus and it slides, because it's like, imagine your whole house like moving, because you're usually like going like this and you feel the tires not catch, and then you just grab onto something. You're just like, no, because you can't see the windshield. You don't know where we're going. You just feel the whole entire building move, basically.
Is the mom or the wife back at home saying, honey, maybe we should take out some life insurance on you before you go on this next tour?
I should. You usually never tour winter. We always take winter off, and this tour was too good, and we're like, we haven't done a winter in a while, so we just went for it. Because I think the last 2 years, we didn't accept any winter tours. We're like, screw it. Like, it's too dangerous. We're not going to do it. We actually missed all the weather that's really hitting. We missed it like by 2 days. So now the East Coast and Northeast is like completely annihilated, and we completely missed it. So, yeah, thankfully we got out of there.
Well, man, hopefully safe travels for the rest of this run. I was telling you before we started shooting, we're glad to finally get you in front of the camera because we missed you at Mayhem. The last Mayhem show in Houston, we were supposed to interview, and there was some scheduling conflict. But we had a chance to see you, and we were both enjoying the Mushroom Head show by the side of the stage.
Yeah. I was talking to you guys earlier. The guitar player from Mushroom Head, we have a little beer joke. We go, because I don't like beer, they would bring beer to me on stage, so I'd have to drink it. And we were just talking that show in particularly, the guitar player's walking off, and I pulled up his mask and slammed some beer down his throat. It was awesome.
We're gonna have to show that picture now during this interview.
It's good.
we got it on tape.
I want to see the picture. I've never even seen it. That's awesome.
I'll send it to you, man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So we're here tonight, and this past year, to support the band's latest release, Rise of the Lion. There's been a lot of discussion about this release. Obviously, it kind of seems like with this release, you guys are kind of transcending a lot of what you've done in the past. Really, people are looking at Miss May I not just as a metalcore band anymore, but really as a legitimate band that's here for the long term. How do you feel about that?
That was the goal. What we wanted people to perceive when we did it. Because I think, I don't know when, but we really wanted to do this as a career band after a while, and we're just we wanted to be more of a respectful metal band. I think doing the tours on our third record, like the Kill Switch tours, Bullet for Valentine tour, and Five Finger tour, that was next level for us as a band. So being able to see how that all works behind the curtains really inspired us to be like, if we're going to go for it, let's really go for it and not just be a metalcore band. Let's really turn it up a notch. So
let's talk about the diversity of this record. Obviously, you guys wanted to tweak some things. What were some of the things that you kind of thought, like, let's go into this record, let's maybe, do a little bit more clean vocal, or let's do a little bit more breakdown, or kind of move away from certain things? What was the mindset going in there? What was the plan?
The biggest plan was, like you said, a diverse record. We've never really thought about writing a record like that. We always think, that sounds cool, put it on the record, or that's a heavy breakdown, put it on the record. This time, we actually had like a whiteboard, and after we wrote a heavy song, we're like, boom, can't do another heavy song. We already did it. We didn't want to make a repetitive record. And that seriously melted our brains, because once you do 5 songs and they're all different, you're like, oh my God, we still have to keep writing. Like, how are we going to keep writing? We're a metal band, so you think a metal band can only stretch this much, but we really pushed our limits to be like, let's get a whole record of different songs. And it was cool, like you were saying, our fans, it was a hit or miss with some fans because they're used to just heavy breakdowns all the time, which we like playing that, but we really wanted to show people this record that we're not just a one-trick pony and we can be a band.
And sometimes that can be a risk.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I was going to say, how scary is that? Was there anybody in management or at the label or maybe within the band saying, you know what, let's not stray too far? Remember Megadeth did Risk? we don't want to do that. Okay, how scary was that for you guys realistically?
It was really scary. The crazy thing, everyone you think that would be more scared than us, the label and management, was the ones pushing it, because there's not really a lot of bands, especially our age, trying to do what we're doing. So they're like, they have our backs. Like, obviously this record, it's more of like a layup for our next record, because it set us up, let people know what we can do, and we got a lot more fans that would have never even known that we were on the map if it wasn't for this last record. So the next record's really the one that's going to be the dunk, hopefully. But and it's all like chess. Like, we knew that going into it. So we're releasing it, and we're like, this record's, it's one of my favorite records, and then but we know that it's not like the one, I guess. Right. So but yeah, they were backing us, and that's like really comforting, because with us in the studio, we're arguing about to like rip each other's head off because we're all stressing out. And then the label's like, it's all good. Like, just go with the plan. Like, let's do it. So, that's great, man. So it was nice to have support.
That's great. Also, as the vocalist of the band, I have to ask you about the lyrics. There was, some feedback about where you kind of came from lyrically with this record, more kind of looking externally rather than internally. Because At the Heart was a very personal record. Your 2012 release. So talk a little bit lyrically about how you wanted to approach this, and what were some of the things that you wanted to kind of touch upon.
Well, since At Heart was really, I guess, digging deep, and our previous records had their own things, I didn't want to release the same thing twice. Same reason why we tried to do a diverse record. We didn't want to write the same record multiple times, because we can do heavy, and I can do a heartfelt song. People know we can do that, which obviously some people expected that, but we like to do the unexpected. So we instead of writing a concept record about castles and a crazy comic or whatnot, which I don't even think I could do, I thought of the writing from a fan's point of view, and we took all these letters and stories that we've had over the years, and it was actually refreshing, because it was nice to not vent all the time and sort of relate with the fans, and put myself in their place and them in my place, and sort of collaborate and make the song. And it was really exciting. There's a lot of songs that didn't make it to the record that I was excited about, but yeah, it was really fun. Right when I got the idea to do the fan letters, it was just like throughout the whole record. It was awesome.
We have a lot of reference material. Huh?
Yeah, it was nice to write about something and not just be like, what sucks today? Let me write.
Woe's me.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. And one of the things that we have to talk about, especially because we're a Texas show, is Terry Date, who produced the record. Of course, people in Texas love Terry Date because of his historic work with Pantera. What was it like working with such a veteran producer, someone who's done historical records? Really, before you answer that question, how did Terry Date come into the picture when you thought about who are we going to get to produce our next record? Because you guys, as a young band, could have gone to somebody new, like Zeus or all these other guys, Machine, who did At the Heart. But you said, hey, let's go with someone kind of experienced and a little old school. Let's see what was the mentality there.
He sort of came to us. We were in Soundwave in Australia, and I know we were going through all these producers, and he was sort of out of our vocabulary because we thought he was in his own little world. Like beyond what we could do. And then I remember our record label was in Australia, and they're like, I think Terry Date was talking to somebody about working with us, and we're just like we dropped everything. We're like, screw all these other producers right now. Let's go for it and work with Terry. And it was awesome. His whole thing is he wants the live band to translate over well on a record, at least with our kind of band. I know he's done like Sempiternal, which was Bring Me. It's a lot more digital. But for us, he was same sort of thing we did with Deftones and Pantera. It's like when you listen to Pantera or Deftones record, it sounds like what a band could play live. There's not oceans or explosions or all this stuff. It's the real deal. And so when we were recording, he would just be honest, like, no, like that's too much. Like that's not what you guys would sound like live. And that was really it really pushed us to be like sort of butt heads with him, like, no, I can't do this live. And then in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know, he might be right. So I'd have to like make myself a better musician to try to put it on there. But the craziest thing is, especially with Terry, when you're doing tracks and there's the glass, and I'm like doing a take, and then I look over and it's like Terry Date. I'm like, is that good? And then when it gives you a thumbs up, I'm like, okay. I'm like, because it's terrifying. Because he could just be like, you suck, out of the studio, and I'm like, oh man, our band sucks. So it was definitely intimidating, but he's a sweetheart. He's a close friend of ours now. He's came out to shows since then, and we stay in touch with him. We talk football. He's a Seahawks fan, so he's obviously always in the playoffs. So.
Sure. Cool, man. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing all of that insight. And I think that's cool when producers can really push musicians to do things maybe they never thought they could do.
Yeah. That's what we've learned from working with Sturgis to Machine to Terry. That's my favorite part of going to the studio is someone learning something new. That's why we like to change it up every record. Because if you go to the same guy multiple times, you're not really learning anything new. So like Machine really taught us how to dig deep, and Terry sort of was like boot camp. Like if you're going to do this on the record, you better do it right now in front of me and make it perfect. So that was exciting.
Cool. Remember, everybody out there, the brand new record came out last year from Miss May. It's called Rise of the Lion. Go out there and be sure to look for it. Pick it up, download it, go to Amazon, iTunes, anywhere. Get it in your hands and rock it, because it definitely sounds great on the stereo. Now, you guys are out in support, have been supporting the record. You're on the Frozen Flame tour now with August Burns Red. People lining up way before the doors even opened down the street ready to come in and check out this show. What's this tour been like already?
It's been insane. I can probably count on my hands the shows that haven't sold out.
Yeah.
Like it's been selling out left and right, which no one expected, because obviously it's the winter, so everyone can't really go out. It's after the holidays, and it's not really I know it sounds weird, but pop from like Warped Tour and everything's really blown up and selling out the venues, and metal's not like it used to. So when we're going into it, we're like, oh, this will be a good tour. None of the bands, even August Burns Red, had expected that these shows would be selling out. And every band gets a great reaction, which is, we haven't done a tour like that in a long time. There's not really a weird band. Everyone's a heavy band, and the pit just continues the entire night. It's awesome.
So I think all these bands are kind of like from the same kind of general genre.
Yeah.
So I think, the really diehard fans are like, this is a total package for us who love metalcore, this kind of music.
It's like 4 hours of headbanging the whole time and just mosh. It's great.
Moshing, killing each other on the pit.
Yeah.
So what do you anticipate for the rest of this year? Will you continue to tour into the summer festivals, things like that?
Yeah, actually, after this tour, we pretty much stay out the entire time. I can't say anything it's all unannounced, but I think we're going to be working on a new record sometime soon, and hopefully get it out before the end of the year, early next year. And yeah, the coolest thing is that I can say is all the tours we have lined up are more U.S. based and Canada based, which as a band we haven't done that in the last 2 years. We've always done one U.S. tour and then do international, but this time it's like, let's hit the foundation pretty hard, so we're pretty excited.
And before we end out, Levi, I kind of want to talk about what you alluded to earlier, that there's already plans, there's a strategic plan in place for the next release. So can you tell or share with the fans out there, do you already have some of those songs in the can, or when do you anticipate that writing will begin for the next record? When would you like for the new Miss May I record to come out?
Well, we spent 2 months home for the holidays, and we were writing, and as of like a week ago on my iPod, we have like 20 songs.
Oh my gosh.
We've never wrote as much, because like I was saying, how the plan work, or not really how it's working, is that we want to really release, since we got the fans that we sort of sucked in, this was a really heavy record, so for us, we knew we were going to write a heavy record, so we were just jumped right into it, like, oh, we can write heavy. So that's why there's so many songs coming in, and they're really crazy. I'm really excited. And we sort of have it lined up who we're going to do the record with, and everyone's going to be real excited. I'm really pumped. And
do you think that's just because this Rise of the Lion is the band's 4th record? Is it just because hey, we've been doing this for a while now? We are at a point where we're kind of peaking as maybe songwriters, musicians, performers. Do you think that's why maybe there's so much material just kind of pumping out?
Yeah, I think we held back so much on the last record, having it to be that diverse. So we were hitting walls left and right because we couldn't write the same songs twice. And we sort of don't have that mindset for this one because we just did that. So we're like, we sort of just blocked out don't do the diverse record. Let's just write how we used to write a heavy record. Because we just want to change it up all the time. So and there's so much stuff that was blocked in from the writing Rise of the Lion that we're just like, letting it go this time. And it's just flowing out of us. We're really excited.
Levi, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to speak with the fans of San Antonio, the fans around the world who will see this interview, who continue to support Miss May I. Any last words that you want to share with your fans around the world?
Stay metal.
Very simple and clear, people. Remember, Miss May I is out there on the road supporting their latest release, Rise of the Lion. Plan to see more work from the band later this year or in early 2016. You saw the man only right here on Rob's MetalWorks.